Reacher Season 2 takes a dark turn, transforming lead characters into villains. Season 1 of Amazon Prime Video's thriller action series, Reacher, saw the titular character, Jack Reacher, unmasking a conspiracy in Margrave, Georgia, while receiving crucial support from the local police force. The stakes, narrative, and alliances are set to shift in the forthcoming season. Based on the popular Jack Reacher novels penned by Lee Child, this series has garnered significant attention for its gripping storylines and dynamic characters. In the first season, Reacher's encounters were painted in shades of moral clarity, with characters like police officers Finley and Roscoe standing shoulder to shoulder with our hero. However, the next chapter of Reacher's on-screen exploits is gearing up to challenge the very fabric of that clarity. For Screen Rant, the forthcoming season is inspired by Lee Child's 11th novel, Bad Luck and Trouble. Although it might seem unusual for the series to jump ahead in the book sequence, the plot promises a seamless transition from Season 1. In this installment, Reacher finds himself reuniting with old military comrades after a disturbing murder. As he delves deeper, the revelation of an unexpected antagonist takes center stage. Law enforcement's lesser-known, darker side comes to the fore in the upcoming season. Gone are the days when Reacher could lean on police officers like dependable pillars. This time, they're the antagonists. The plot intricately weaves a narrative where officers of the law are not just mere obstacles, but potentially lethal adversaries. Drawing from the novel, Reacher, in collaboration with Neagley, will uncover a sinister enterprise, New Age, involved in manufacturing potent weaponry for international terrorists. Shockingly, former police officer Alan Lemazin and his current police cohort, Curtis Monty, steer this nefarious venture. The inclusion of law enforcement figures as primary antagonists signals a marked departure from the previous season's take on policing. The fresh narrative approach heightens the stakes in multiple ways. Reacher, in the earlier season, had the luxury of aligning with law enforcement, accessing their resources, and deriving a sense of moral assurance from their shared goals. With the tables now turned, he confronts not just external threats, but grapples with internal dilemmas about the very nature of justice. It becomes a tale not just of intrigue and action, but also of introspection, as Reacher wrestles with recognizing that symbols of justice can, at times, be its most potent detractors. Adding a layer of intrigue to the upcoming season is the curious absence of casting for the character Curtis Monty. As one of the pivotal antagonists, his omission raises eyebrows. Could it be a strategic move to introduce him in a subsequent season, thereby expanding the story arc over multiple seasons? Or perhaps there's an unexpected twist awaiting fans that necessitates this glaring omission. This lacuna in casting has undoubtedly added another layer of suspense to an already anticipated season. Season 2 of Reacher is poised to challenge its audience's perspectives. By switching the roles of friends and foes, it isn't merely about the physical challenges Reacher faces, but also about the profound moral quandaries that come with it. As fans await its December 2023 release, there's a collective sense of anticipation. Without a doubt, Reacher will grip its viewers, making them ponder the blurred lines between right and wrong. Reacher Season 2 has taken an unexpected and darker turn that no one saw coming, pushing its central characters beyond the boundaries of heroism and into the complex world of villainy. In this bold new direction, we see how a show that initially celebrated strength, justice, and individual righteousness is now exploring the shadowy depths of its characters' souls. Jack Reacher, once the ultimate embodiment of a drifter hero bringing order to chaotic situations, is now portrayed in a much more ambiguous light. The series dares to ask the unsettling question, what if the people we once cheered for could also become the ones we fear? The descent of Jack Reacher, the second season, begins in familiar territory. Jack Reacher, played by Alan Ritchson, is still the towering, muscular former military police officer roaming from town to town, dispensing his brand of justice. However, by mid-season, cracks in his seemingly impenetrable moral armor begin to show. Reacher is still driven by his unwavering principles, but his methods become increasingly violent, ruthless, and unchecked. What starts as vigilante justice gradually transforms into outright brutality, with Reacher taking the law into his own hands in ways that border on dangerous fanaticism. Reacher's transformation into a darker, more sinister figure is both gradual and unsettling. The writers make it clear that while he still believes in justice, his moral compass has shifted. The show frames his descent into villainy through a series of moral dilemmas that challenge Reacher's rigid worldview. Whether it's manipulating others for his own goals or choosing the most violent path when alternatives exist, Reacher is slowly losing the heroic image fans have come to admire. The line between hero and villain becomes blurred, with Reacher now emerging as an anti-hero or even an outright antagonist in certain scenes. The brilliance of this shift lies in how it maintains Reacher's core qualities. He is still the fiercely intelligent, physically dominant figure from the first season. However, it's now this very dominance that makes him dangerous. Without the checks and balances of military structure or law enforcement, Reacher's absolute power corrupts him absolutely. He doesn't answer to anyone but himself, and in Season 2, that lack of accountability has devastating consequences. Neagley's moral conflict. Another key character in this season's transformation is Frances Neagley, Maria Sten, Reacher's former colleague and the moral anchor of the show. Neagley, known for her sharp mind and her loyalty to Reacher in the first season, undergoes her own complex arc in Season 2. As Reacher's actions grow increasingly erratic and violent, Neagley finds herself at odds with him. While she initially tries to rationalize his behavior as a product of stress or the dangerous situations they find themselves in, it soon becomes clear that Reacher is no longer the man she once knew. The writers deftly use Neagley as a mirror for Reacher's transformation. She represents the side of Reacher that could still be saved, the part of him that values justice over vengeance. However, as the season progresses, Neagley is faced with a painful choice: to remain loyal to Reacher or to confront him and stop his descent into villainy. The tension between the two characters builds throughout the season, with their final confrontation being one of the most emotionally charged moments in the series. Neagley's moral conflict ultimately makes her the emotional core of the season, and her struggle to stop Reacher from going too far highlights the tragic nature of his fall. The themes of power and corruption. One of the most significant changes in Reacher Season 2 is its thematic focus on power and corruption. In the first season, Reacher was a symbol of personal strength, a man who could take on any opponent and come out on top. However, this season explores the darker side of that power. What happens when someone like Reacher, with his immense physical and intellectual capabilities, stops using those abilities for good and begins to serve his own interests? The answer is chilling. The show cleverly juxtaposes Reacher's descent into villainy with the corrupt institutions he once fought against. Where Season 1 had Reacher battling against crooked cops, military officials, and corporate conspiracies, Season 2 shows that even someone as seemingly incorruptible as Reacher can be seduced by power. As he becomes more isolated from the world, his actions grow more extreme, leading him down a path that mirrors the very forces he once opposed. This theme of power corrupting even the noblest of individuals is a bold choice for the show, and it adds a layer of depth to Reacher's character. It forces viewers to question the nature of heroism and whether anyone, no matter how strong or principled, can truly resist the temptations of power. A bold departure from the source material for fans of Lee Child's Jack Reacher novels, this darker portrayal of Reacher may come as a shock. The novels have always presented Reacher as a loner with a strong sense of justice, and while he's